My project is to try and prevent littering. This problem is becoming bigger and bigger each year, and I feel like it needs to kind of be prevented or stopped as it's getting out of hand. I hosted 3 focus groups, and within those focus groups I tried to ask the audience how they feel on littering, and just to see if they know much about it and the effects it has on the youth. From my focus groups I also gained information on what people feel like £75 is enough of a fine, but the police don't enforce it as they see it's not such a big problem. But it is such a big problem as we have one planet and we're slowly killing it ourselves. Also, the majority sort of feeling people have is that there are not enough bins in the local area, which would be a big influence on preventing litter within the local area, because obviously if there are more bins, more people would be putting it in the bin rather than just throwing stuff on the floor. I also made a questionnaire to give to people to see what my target audience was, but I feel like I got a good response from the questionnaires. I asked around 12 to 15 questions. I also included facts within my questionnaire to see if people understood what is really happening and what effects litter has on the UK, really, because if they don't really know what effects it have, then I just feel like they probably won't care about the littering as much, whereas if they knew what effect it had, then maybe they wouldn't litter. Another response from my questionnaire is that people feel as if still there are not enough bins, so I feel like overall a lot of people feel like this is a big problem, which if there was enough bins, and it wouldn't be as much of a problem. From my primary research I gained more information on what people feel like with the incentive of litter, and they feel like there aren't enough bins still. And within my questionnaire I put in questions that are facts to see what people know about littering and the effects it have on the UK, and they feel like, and I don't think people know enough about littering, and they don't feel like it's such a problem in their life. Like, they just think other people will be affected by it. They don't think they're going to be affected by it themselves, and they have other things in their lives to be worrying about than just littering. From my questionnaires I feel like my target audience will be for like over 12s, because my documentary will be in depth and hard for younger ages to understand, as it's a lot of information for them to take in, whereas adults it's easier for them to understand, and maybe that can influence them to bring their kids up in a way which they don't litter and they use bins more. My secondary research really helped me with the information for my documentary, and so I can put this into my documentary, the information I found out, and which might influence people to stop littering, because it might be a shock factor, and they might think, oh, we need to stop because it's such a problem now, because they wouldn't have known the stuff before, which I'll be telling them, such as £850 million is spent a year by the government providing litter pickers and equipment to pick up the rubbish and to get gum off the floor and cigarettes and stuff. I also found out since the 1960s the litter has increased by 500%, along with around 70,000 animals were killed last year or injured due to littering. And I feel like this is so easily prevented, but people don't care about it enough to be able to bring themselves to putting something in the bin. I would say my findings are very, very valid, as I got the feedback I kind of wanted, and the general incentive is the same as what I thought it would be. And my target audience is kind of a very large target audience. A lot of people obviously care about this topic, and it's their problem as well as everyone else's, so it's everyone's problem in a sense, because it's their planet and it's where they live. I feel as if the information on my topic was a sufficient amount because of my secondary research and primary research. I think with all this it would be easy to make a documentary to raise awareness, which will help prevent litter, and maybe by going to the community to ask for more bins and maybe sign a petition or something like that will help raise awareness and get more people involved in wanting to stop this problem. I'll use my feedback to put into my documentary, and I'll also be doing one-on-one interviews within my documentary to get people's personal opinions on screen, and so people may be able to relate to their opinions because it might be how they feel. By using all the information I've gathered and by going and getting primary research within pictures, going to take pictures, going to interview people, I feel like I can use this in my documentary in sort of a montage way to sort of shock people by how bad the litter is. Also, I think the one-on-one interviews will be really good because then you could get what people feel, what their opinion on it is, and I can do this by getting a range of people, different people, so then you can see what a 20-year-old man feels and how much a, say, 45-year-old woman might feel on this subject, as everyone has their own opinion.